So ladies and gentlemen, here we have come to the second last leg of our episodes on the capital city of Panjim. And we have reached an area which is so historic. It is filled up with so many different things that I am sure at the end of this episode you are going to be amazed. We are going to show you in this episode a very, very historic and the oldest heritage hotel of Goa, the Mandovi. We will take you near the Customs Museum. We will show you the two statues that are there, the Secretariat, the Mint House, and the Tobacco Square. I think this is going to be enough for you to be amazed and come into this city of ours called as Panjim city. So what we will do now is we will go and see what is the Heritage Hotel. And I'm sure that there are many facts that you are not aware of. This is the unknown Panjim. So ladies and gentlemen, let's head to the Mandovi. Surprised? Right from the banks of river Mandovi, here I am standing in a room. I'm sure you are surprised why I am standing over here. Ladies and gentlemen, I have now brought you to one of the most important heritage hotels in Goa, which is called as Hotel Mandovi. And I am standing here in one of their suite rooms, in which at one time even the governor generals of the Portuguese regime stayed over here. This particular hotel was built and inaugurated initially on 1st December 1952. But later on, what happened was they demolished that original structure. They created a foundation which was very strong, and on that foundation they constructed this beautiful hotel that overlooks the river Mandovi, and rightly it is called as Hotel Mandovi. It opened out again in the year 1954, right in time for the exposition of the sacred relics of Saint Francis Xavier. You will see the opulence of this suite We will take you around and show you the balcony from where you get a beautiful view, the bedroom, spacious, and an amazing bathroom. The facilities here are very good. But the reason I was standing here and looking out of this place was the initial bank of the Portuguese regime, the Banco Nacional de Ultramarine, was placed exactly opposite over here. Today it is the headquarters of the State Bank of India. This building was slightly smaller earlier, and when the time came for demolishing this particular building, some of the people went to the court and the court advised them to build this or rebuild this particular building with the same facade that is there. So hence you can see those two towers over here, and it gives or adds a little charm to this area of Panjim. After we see over this, we will go down and take a peek into their restaurant. They call it Rio Rico, and the bar, and a lovely sitting on the veranda over here. So now we will take you around and show you what is a suite in this heritage hotel called as Mandovi, the first of its kind in Goa. Another feather in the cap of this heritage hotel is that they were the official caterers to His Holiness the Pope when he came here to Goa on an official visit. So when you come over here to this particular hotel, what you would be being part of is a great heritage of Goa. So now that you have seen Mandovi and we are proceeding along the Dayanand Bandodkar Marg that goes parallel to the river Mandovi, you come to a place where you see this canon in the median between two roads, and next to this you see a beautiful blue colored house which at one time was the custom house, and it had a very, very high importance during the Portuguese era because all taxes of all the ships that were going in the Arabian Sea, they were collected and accounted here. I am going to take you inside this museum, which is the only of its kind. Here they have got a customs and central excise museum, the only of its kind in India. Today the customs department has shifted out to Pato, and they have converted their old building, this blue indigo colored house, as the customs and central excise museum. Never miss an opportunity when you are in Panjim to come here with your family, go inside in that customs and central excise museum and watch certain aspects which are amazing. You will be shocked at what things do when people smuggle things out. So we will see this from outside now and then proceed further down near the secretariat where there are more things to be seen. You want to know why I have shown you this clip of these houses and the secretariat behind is because I want you to see this photograph which was clicked somewhere in the year 1890. I want you to compare this photograph and this scenario and see the common thing of the house, the windows, and notice one more thing, that what was there at the southwest end of Secretariat was a chapel. Please see this photograph very carefully. Slightly ahead along the Dhananbandottar mark and away from the customs house or the customs museum, we come across a grand mansion which we know as the palace or the summer palace of Adilshah. It was used by the Portuguese when they shifted from Old Goa to here, and later on after liberation this building was used as the secretariat until it shifted across to their new building in Porvorim. But near this secretariat, there is this statue over there behind of a man making hands and a lady sleeping over there. Now this particular statue was erected in the year 1945 by the people of Goa in honor of one of the greatest sons of the Goan soil. His name was Jose Custodio Faria. Born in Kandoli in Goa, this man rose to great heights. He was the son of Rosa Maria de Souza and Custodio Faria. At a young age, in his teens, he was taken from here by his father, who was a priest, to Portugal. And he learned a lot. He went to Rome, where His Holiness the Pope asked him to preach in the Sistine Chapel. It was a huge honor. And there was one of the great, I would call him as a scientist or a researcher, whose name was Mesmer, who came up with this process of mesmerization. This particular topic fascinated Jose Custodio Faria. By the time he was there, he was called as Abbe Faria. Many people call Abad Faria. It is Abbe Faria. this man learnt the art of suggestive hypnotism. Same thing what the psychologists, psychiatrists are using today to cure people in medicine. He is known as the father of suggestive hypnotism. Many may have just heard, in the year 1787, there was the Portuguese rule over here, and some of the priests revolted against that administration. Now this is very famously known as the conspiracy of the Pintos or the Pintos revolt, and it is said that he and his father, Abe FARIA and his father, were the spiritual guides to the priests who revolted. Now, the Portuguese did not take very kindly to this, and where we are going slightly ahead, it is said that those priests who revolted and they were caught, including some of the officers, they were literally quartered or they were cut, and their heads were strung on poles over here. And because of that, it is said that he ran away from Portugal into France, where again he became a spiritual leader again for the revolutionaries over there in the French Revolution. But he got arrested and he was put behind bars in the Château, or what we know as the Bastille. Much later, when the revolution became successful and he was taken out, he remained over there, and he died in the year 1819 at the age of 63. The people of Goa in the year 1945 constructed this particular monument as a tribute, as an honor to this man who came from a humble abode here in Goa and made a huge name on the world arena. So here what you see here behind this statue is of Abe FARIA or José Custodio FARIA, who is also known as the father of suggestive hypnotism. And this entire area is known as Praça Abe FARIA or Abe FARIA Square. Also in this square, there is a huge house which belongs to the Bamai Kamuti family. This house was constructed somewhere in the in the 16th century, and they are very, very famous because they were the foremost traders in this land with the Portuguese. So what we will do now is we will not enter their house. Maybe at a later time we will take you inside and show you some very, very historical aspects of that house, the right-sided conch and the festivities that they have there. But we will show you this house from outside, and one small little architectural feature which is there, which probably allowed the Canons to go from the river around the Adilshah's palace and into their house. So when you come to Abe FARIA Square, just to the left of the statue, you see these two canons over here. Why are these kept over here? You'll be surprised to know that these two canons have been brought here supposedly from the fortress of Gasper. That means there was a fort at Miramar where we have seen one cannon over there. There were 16 cannons over there. This is what the records tell us. And out of that, one big one is kept at Miramar. These two are brought here, and two of them are kept in the archives. Very close by also, there is another historic place called as Club Nacional. one of the oldest socio-cultural club, very famous for organizing the red and black dance during Carnival. This is our intangible heritage. Participate in that. Be with us, be Goan, and help us to protect, preserve and promote this beautiful heritage of us. Because if we don't know the history of this, we will not be able to tell this to our children. And a few years later, everybody is going to forget everything. So make an attempt to come, bring your children and be part of this rich heritage of Goa. We are bringing this to you from My Goem episodes on Prudent Media. And one more aspect I must tell you. We travel to a different places. My cameraman, myself, our other team members, we travel to different places. It's very hot over here. That's why we advise you, please wear this cap. Take a lot of water with you. And do not damage, do not write on this heritage. If you see anybody doing that, please stop them, because this heritage belongs to you and to me, to all of us Goans. So please help us to maintain the heritage of Goa. Next to the FARIA Square, there is this wonderful building, majestic building, which we know as the Summer Palace of Adilshah. And like I told you, when the Portuguese shifted from Old Goa to Panjim and made this their capital, they made use of this for their administrative purpose. After liberation, the Goans administration used this as the secretariat, the assembly, and we can see the other assembly on the other side of the river. This was the summer palace of Adilshah. It was not the administrative palace. And possibly, according to what has been written, what we will be able to see inside, the entire complex today is not the palace of Adilshah. Adilshah's palace could have been from here till the end. I say this because there is a staircase inside which has two-sided, and many of the historians, they say that the boat of Adilshah used to come in straight here and he would get down inside and go into the palace. So we take it, we surmise that this portion which is there has been extended by the Portuguese. And there is one more roof that you will be able to see behind, next to the statue of Bandodkar, which was added much after liberation, post-liberation, when the number of MLAs from 30 went up to 40. So this whole complex, what we refer to as the Adilshah Palace, is not actually a palace, original palace. I think the first one, this part towards the FARIA statue, was the palace. Now, you see over here there is a nice entrance which says Satyameva Jayate. This was made the entrance by the Goan administration to allow people to come inside. But the original entrance during the Portuguese era is on the behind landward side, which we will see after this. So now let us see whether we can get inside the Adilshah Palace, whether we have Adilshah's permission to get inside, and show you what this palace is inside. This palace of Adilshah is now converted into a place where art is being displayed. Ladies and gentlemen, I have my own theory, and I'm sure that I will not be very wrong. Today we call the entire complex over here as the Palace of Adilshah. But according to me, the actual summer palace of Adilshah is this side. This part was built by the Portuguese when they shifted here into Panjim, and the last annexee was built by the Goa government when the MLAs increased from 30 to 40. Now why am I saying that this part is the actual palace of Adilshah? Is because as per the writings, this entire route was actually the water coming inside. It was a moat, and the boat of Adilshah would come in here and it would berth over here. He would get down here, and from here he would walk up along these steps, because there is a set of another staircase like this on the other side, and he would walk up here and go into his palace. And just for your information, this palace had a harem which was on the other side, which is not existing anymore, and the very place where the fazenda ends towards the State Bank of India.